yoga is the more we get sort of tapped into it, the more exciting and more familiar we get, but also the more we start to self-complicate. And that's kind of like, that's cool, right? So it's almost like we're always scrambling the order of the things that we thought or think that we're sort of getting such a hold of, right? So a wise person once said, right, that as soon as you think you know yourself, you realize that you have a lot of work to do. I can't remember who that was, so for now it's just me, but I'm sure it was someone better than that, because I'm still figuring it out, right? Looking for that version 2 of this life, right? So welcome. If you're experiencing this through YouTube or on some recording, awesome, good to see you. Like yoga, follow, right? Come to a comfortable tall seat, so we'll get this thing moving quite quickly. One of the cards that I drew in my question, sort of where are we going to go in practice? And this was sort of an extended view, I am included. And where is kind of not an end point, but it's more like the carrot that's out in front of us. And in the card pull that I did, making it very simple, it started with a progression. And at first it said purpose, right? Finding purpose to be. Right? So making sure, like when we're going into movement, right, we know that the purpose of doing this is more than just, you know, our great, beautiful bodies. Is that when we get this bit of learning that becomes a gift that transcends, transforms. The second part was the idea of feeling unsettled. So we're not able to sort of give ourselves the satisfaction of just being like, oh, this is that. But whatever purpose we might be sort of formulating is actually kind of on the next level, right? It's the harder to attain, and it's mostly what I consider the exciting part, the impossible. And then lastly, the actual carrot is the intuition. And the intuition that sort of follows this trajectory, right? So our purpose, right? That feeling of instability or insecurity that sort of leads us to believe that this can't be it. And our first thought of sort of the sort of simple and basic wish is not big enough. And the intuition is that we know that it's true. So that's what sort of provokes us in our purpose to make this thing live and active, right? To show up and keep showing up, right? Be you in the best way that you can, whether it's quirky, wild, and weird, pleasant, peaceful, and soft, all of the above, whatever it is that you do. Right? Let your hands come together, your heart. Settle into just knowing that this is leading to something far greater than you can imagine. Gentle bow to yourself, to your hearts, to all hearts. Release your hands and open your eyes. So I'm playing music on my side, but I know that it's very interruptive on your side. So if you go to the lockdown playlist and you just want to play that in your background, if that's good for you, I'm going to try and remember to pace myself enough to kind of use all my words to get your direction to the place that I am going also, and to slow down my movements, because I guess a little birdie told me that I'm being a little quick in my own actions and a little slow in my direction. So, yay and sorry, getting there, right? So, when you get to your mat, right? So it's a little bit past 6 now, so I'm going to use the entire half hour of movement. And that way, if you're watching this edited version, right, you're getting a little bit of that sort of top time sitting centering, and you get to go into also a good amount of what you expect, which is a half hour of your yoga practice. Okay, so you're on your mat, and I'm in my right side, and I'm just going to let myself get warmed up, because in a half hour practice, we kind of have to choose something big. This is one of the biggest ways of kind of getting us warm enough so we can get our sort of lively nature going sooner and quicker. Right, and you'll notice, right, I'm having some sort of very tight glute, tired legs, right? I've been working my legs a little bit extra the last couple of days, and so the result of that, right, the end point, day 2 or 3, it's just a bunch of fatigue. So we want that strength to also not just kind of wear us down, but also kind of push us up towards the sky, right? We can take a triangle pose to the right leg. So you're gonna make your gentle adjustment, left hand at left hip. And you might notice, right, when we get into this, we tend to push the hip out in front of us, which makes us feel like we're getting more of that sort of back bend feeling that comes from this. But then inadvertently, it ends up dropping into that front knee, right? So you want to kind of use that left hand, back up the hip to match the heel, the left heel, back heel, right? And then put the slightest bit of bend in your knee, right knee, front knee, so that you can feel your quad tone up, and then lift your chest from that space. Left arm goes up. And that way, when you have that left arm as a tether to the sky, if you want, and you feel that sort of there's some room to maintain that structure on the bottom, then you can sink into the deeper space of the forearm. Okay? Right knee bends, left arm comes down, left foot steps back, forward, right foot steps back. And first, you're gonna go over the right shoulder and go back into your squat. Right? So you get your collie squat. I like hands on knees, and as long as you're not sort of dropping your chest into your knees and dropping out of weight in your sort of the strength of your legs, right? Keep them very, very light so that you just sort of little soft fingers in your kneecaps, right? The glutes kind of squeezing into center so you can lift your chest. Nice little pivot, right heel kicks back, left toes go forward. Set yourself up first, so right hand, right hip. Right, we don't have to stay too long on these sort of adjustments, just kind of recognizing how we kind of get ourselves into the truth of our form, okay? Right arm to the sky. That front left leg has that little bit of bend, and so the right arm has you a little bit pulled up. So it's gonna give you kind of that feeling that you're activating the both sides of your spine. And then you can sink into your full form, right? So if you got a little bit more to kind of express into this, and have a little joy to notice that you can tap into on that left hip, left hamstring. Okay. Left knee bends, right hand comes down, right foot steps forward, left leg goes back, three-legged low lunge, sorry. Right leg goes back, then three-legged dog, hip open. And then you're gonna pull that right knee forward, touch it to your left elbow. And then you're gonna slide it back to wrap it around the front of that left leg. So you're getting a little down dog version on this one. Okay? And then you get this kind of feeling that you're getting a little bit more sunken into that sort of pinky toe side of that left foot. Right knee comes forward to step it. Take a triangle pose right leg. And then right knee bends, you come up into warrior two. All you're doing is pulling that left heel in, and you get into your little Kali squat. Okay, this is gonna be a little bit sort of a cute preparatory because I've been sort of, peppering the practice with our readiness for August and handstands. I'm a little nervous about sort of putting some of this stuff in my tiny little apartment, but we're gonna see, and I'm gonna try not to sort of blow your minds on that, right? So let me just let someone in. Okay, that was cute. I can't make my words faster. I don't know how to make my words faster. You're in a squat. Bring your hands to the floor, right? Shift into your arms, right? So you kind of have this little sort of like puma froggy thing. And you're gonna push forward into the hands and open your left hip. Now you're gonna push into the hands, lean forward in the hands, and tiptoes on the right foot, and you're gonna hop over to your left foot. Open hip, bend that left knee, lean forward into the hands, hop over to your right foot, and place the left. Whee! Here we go. Super nice. Right here, you're gonna go over to your left leg lunge. Left leg goes back, open hip, three-legged dog. Right, pull that left knee forward to your right elbow. Wrap it around your left leg, or your right leg, sorry, and then it's a down dog with a grounded right heel. And a nice little sort of version of those sort of Garudasana legs. Okay, with your eyes look forward, you can bring your left foot between your hands. Take triangle pose first. Okay, get the feeling, the feet pressing down, and your breath picks you up. Right, so if you do the breath last, which in a muscular shape, right, when we sort of move into those transitions, it can be kind of jarring and yanking into muscles, and that's where we get sort of spasms, tweaks, or pinches, right? But if you use the breath to actually give you that movement, right, so you don't have to use weight shifting momentum, it feels more sort of harmonious in the flow, right? So we're in warrior two. Awesome. Very gently, you're gonna pull that right heel in, and you're in your squat again. One more time, we're gonna move into these little sort of, it's kind of a cartwheel, froggy hop around, or hop to the side, right? Hands plant, lean forward. This one first will go right leg up and open, right? So you get a nice lean into that left heel, right? A little bend in that left knee. You might even tiptoe on that left foot, lean forward to the hands, a nice little hop around. It's like you're hopping from wrist to wrist, right? So left hip is open, same idea. Right foot's on the floor. First, you're getting like a sort of a very awkward version of a three-legged dog. Lean forward so the shoulders over the wrists, right knee bends, pushing the floor. So you notice, right, now you get back to the other side, right foot comes back to the mat. Right, both knees bend, and you come up into your little squat. Right, go over to the right foot. This one's gonna go left foot to step, meet the right, inhale to a flat back, and then exhale, fold. Right, so you notice that little hop over is more of a push into the hands and less of a sort of a throw of the legs. So that's kind of what I like to what I've learned from that, is just has transcended and transformed my ability to kind of feel lightness away from the floor. Inhale to a flat back, exhale, sit to chair, inhale up to stand. Reach, and then let go to fold. Okay, very softly bend your knees, hands pushing the floor. Same idea, right? You're gonna shift into the hands, hop up through the hips, and take your chaturanga. Okay, up dog, to down dog. Right, left leg lifts, three-legged dog. Pull that right knee forward, touch to left elbow. Wrap it around the left leg again. You're back in that Garudasana, eagle leg version of down dog. Keep the legs this one, come forward, pick up the left arm, and now open the chest too. Okay? And you're very gently bend the left knee and sit your right hip back towards your left heel. Cool, right? Right hand comes back to the front of the mat, left heel lifts, right foot steps forward between the hands, and then you're gonna go for a twist here. Right arm up. Okay, so it's a twist lunge. Pushing the right foot, use your breath up into the right side of the ribs and that right top arm. You're gonna pick this up, take it warrior two, right palm turns up, tip it back, reverse warrior. Okay, this is going to triangle pose. You inhale, come up, place it, there we go. So triangle pose, feeling that it's like, you know, it comes out of our beginner class, right? When we first started practicing yoga. But it's still kind of giving you this great service. So now as more proficient yogis, right? You can see how it kind of mends and it sort of sutures our sort of experience into sort of that full spectrum. So always know that triangle pose can kind of fix us, both emotionally and physically. And it can sort of get us into a place where perhaps we might have kind of lost touch with those basics, right? So remember the basics always good for us, right? Knee bends, left hand to the floor. You're gonna lean into that right foot to step into standing split. Okay, left knee is gonna come forward, tuck in, and bring it up with your breath. Arms lifting, left knee lifts. Right, place that left leg on top of the right leg so you get your Garudasana. Sit again, chair pose with wrapped legs. Okay. Inhale, you're going to come back up, lifting the left knee, wrap it around and back. You're going to move through warrior three. All right, so you get that placement first, and then fold in, hands to the floor, standing split. And we're going to use this as sort of our sort of wind up into jumping into chaturanga. So you're gonna bend both knees, tuck them in towards your chest. Bend, elbows push into the floor. Lean into the hands, push away. Place yourself in chaturanga. Yay. Up dog. Whew. Down dog. Pretty nice. Okay, left leg lifts. Three-legged dog. Open hip. Bring that knee forward. Tap it to right elbow. And then wrap that right leg around. And you're in your down dog with wrapped legs. Pretty nice. Awesome. Inhale, come forward with the shoulders. Pick up that right arm. And reach it over the ear. So it's a side plank with wrapped legs. Same as before. Right knee bends. You're going to sit that left hip back towards your right heel. Okay, right arm is up to the sky. You might even look up in your eyes. And then very gently, softly bring the hips up. Right hand to the front of the mat. Right heel lifts. Left knee steps forward. And you get this little twist lift. Right, so it's a lunge twist. You either have your right knee on the floor or your right leg lifted. I think you had it lifted in the last one. Twisted lunge. It's a lot of this is left heel pressing the floor to lighten that right hand, pick you up, circle around warrior two, and then right hand to right leg, reverse warrior. Sometimes, depending on sort of where your clothes are placed on you right here, right, you can kind of both feel that sort of action of sitting in that left hip, but rising from the left rib. So you feel almost tangibly kind of internally, you get this feeling of space opening up. You can picture it like opening up out of those tight hip flexors, and you lift up from that space opening, triangle pose. Okay, pretty long breath here, remembering to inhale and exhale. I haven't put a lot of cues of those inhales and exhales in, but do remember to stay mostly connected to that. I know you're listening a lot. Right, left knee bends, right hand to the floor. Right, lean into that right foot, that left leg. Right leg goes up to the sky. It's a standing split. And then tuck your right knee in towards your face. Tuck, and then bring it up with you. And when you get to stand, then wrap that right leg around the left and take it to your seat, right? Little chair with Garudasana legs. It's a pretty sweet one right now. Today, I guess I needed this one today, right? Come up to stand, right knee lifts, widen it to the right, so you get that open tree version, and then you slide it, glide it, land it, warrior three, and then you tip it, fold it, tuck it on the floor, on your mat if you're a little bit off of it like me, right? And you're in standing split. Everything tucks in from here, both knees, abdominal muscles, shift weight, hands press into the floor, push into the floor, float it into chaturanga. Keep that breath moving as your inhale takes you up to up dog. Whew, exhale back to down dog. Looks good. All right, final part of this little series set. Right leg lifts, open hip. Let's open this hip so much that your left heel tips over to the left, and you're actually placing this into tree pose in side plank. So right arm will come off the floor. Okay? And then right hand comes back to the floor for a moment, pull the right knee forward, wrap it around to the left leg, and then you'll sit in that left heel. So left knee bends, and there you have your little squishy. Super nice. As that left leg straightens, left hand comes back to the floor, right foot steps forward, place it between the hands, warrior two. Right, reverse warrior, so cute. And this triangle pose, as you come up, we're gonna add a little bit more. We're gonna see if we can take right arm underneath right leg and then back towards your left leg. Left arm is gonna reach a little bit more forward out in front of you, right? So you can feel that right shoulder kind of hug in to the inner thigh of that right leg. Okay? And left arm could be as far forward as that right foot. If you wanted, I'm a real big fan of this shape. Okay? All right, right knee bends, left hand go back to the floor, right arm goes up to the sky. Nice little open version of that. Left knee, let it fully land, and then let that left knee go up. You can reach back and side stretch. A lot of our space today is sort of about the legs still, just like the other day, Wednesday, lots of hips. Okay, You let go of that left foot, you're gonna take that right arm, go forward, lean into that right foot. This one's taking you up into half moon pose. So get up to that left arm. And because we're flowing through this, keep moving. Left arm's gonna pull you up to stand. Left knee lifts. Wrap it around the front. Wrap it around the right leg. And then sit this one. Okay, so it's a chair pose with wrapped legs, right? Left leg over top of right. Okay, we're gonna take the right elbow more forward. So you're almost gonna breathe up from the right low back, forward through the right elbow, hook it to the outside of your left knee, right to the left of that left knee, and then prayer hands, right? So a little prayer twist. It's pretty good, right? This is a little emblem shape, right? Belongs in the front of a shiny vehicle. Right, pushing the right foot, come up to stand, left knee widens, opens, it places you, so it's a graceful transition to warrior three, and nice, soft descent, hands to floor. Okay, a couple choices here. So we've been cannonball tucking this to land in your chaturanga, but if you wish, you can kind of standing split this into a version of a hopping handstand into chaturanga, right? So you shift into the hands, lean into the tiptoes of that right foot, right heel lifts, press the floor away, and then you get a soft little landing to chaturanga, right? Smile at the top, up dog, back to down dog. Whew. That was a good one. Okay, so get your breath right here. Yeah, that sort of fullness of your breath right here, where you start to feel that that is kind of very purposeful breath that sort of can feel the sort of the excitement of knowing that there's a lot of impossible shapes that we're going into here, which are cool because they show up pretty readily and pretty possibly as we transform, right? Left leg lifts, three-legged dog. Right, you're gonna open the hip, right heel goes right, and then place, left foot lands inside right leg. So you get that side plank with those really sweet lifting left ribs, right? So it's a nice tree shape. Okay, left hand goes to the floor, and as you come forward, left knee swings down, wraps underneath to wrap around the right leg, and then you go into that little squishy pose, right arm up, or wherever is good, right? So you can pull the knee, feels pretty nice. Right hand comes back to the front of the mat as the right leg straightens, left foot steps forward. Whew. And you take this into a warrior two, that tips back, reverse warrior. Oi, oi, oi. Be awesome. Right, remember the last one, the last time we did the last triangle pose, right? Think of as now we have the right hip as a reminder, lined up with the right heel. It's almost like that right hip is lifting. Excuse me. It's gonna lean and stretch you farther forward in your torso so that you can lower with all the space you created. Reach back, left hand to right thigh or leg, right arm over the ear and forward, possibly to the ankle or the shin, maybe to that left big toe. Right, and then once you're in that, right, you're looking to the right, maybe a little up past that right bicep, right arm, leaning down into those feet, so you press into the feet, so you almost feel that the hips are rising to keep that space open in your torso for this twist. Okay, and then that egress from that is left knee bends, left arm sweeps through, right knee goes to the floor, right foot goes up, left arm reach up and back to find your front. Okay, thigh stretch action here. Cutie. Wow, I really needed that on this side. Hello. Not bad. Right, you let that go. Sometimes it deserves a little pause here, right? You release that right foot, left arm goes forward. Lean and shift your weight into that left foot so you can produce that shape. So get your half moon pose on. And we follow the breath, right? Up. Right knee lifts, standing, and then you just soften that exhale right into your Garudasana sit. Right leg over top of left. And take your time as you just kind of feel your hips move back. You can even manually maneuver them back, push them back. Feel the torso come forward from that left hip to left shoulder to left elbow. Left elbow lands to the outside of that right knee. Your breath kind of keeping your posture in full sort of readiness and alignment as you take your twist. And I'm looking at the floor for balance. You might look at something else, something non-moving. When you come back up, whoo, right knee lifts, right leg sweeps around, swims around through warrior three, and into standing split. And so don't be afraid if we're a little shied away from a little handstand hop back to chaturanga. That's not a problem, right? This is your more confident side, then do so. But if you think it's still really good to stay connected to the tuck, right? Keep tucking through that top leg. And so do what's best for you. This is mostly a shift into the arms, right? So regardless of how lifted your standing split leg is, right? You lean into the hands, push up through the heel, you bend the elbows. So you're almost chaturanga in your arms and shoulders before you even take flight into the sky for that hop up, right? Up dog to down dog, we're good, right? Look forward. You're gonna hop your knees to the outsides of your wrists, so towards your pinky sides of the hand, fingers, right? Big toes touching. Okay, so when you land there, big toes touching, knees are wide, chest is lifting. Take your hands behind you. Palms are gonna face forward. It's almost like you're gonna sort of slide them underneath your butt, and then fingers are gonna go through your legs and forward to pull your shoulders back, right? And as you're sort of focusing so much on where do those hands go? They're sleeping through the legs and down towards the inner knees, and your arms are tucking back, and you're producing this pretty awesome back bend as you lean into your toes. Couple breaths here to notice your strength of your glutes, the placement of your hands pressing into your thighs. And then you come up. Hooah. That's nice. Check that time. Wow, is that way? And then we're gonna place your hands on the floor. So the knees are already wide, the big toes are already touching. Ooh. And you're gonna tuck your toes. Okay? This one's gonna sort of slide us into a crow pose. So you're gonna pick up the knees and sink back into the heels. You'll have to draw back through your hands. You're in tiptoes. Feel those arms kind of catch your knees, right? So they're kind of receiving, right? The knees are holding on to the arms to lift one or both toes. Woo. And very gently, we're back to chaturanga. Right, up dog to down dog. So I want to kind of revisit that little hip opener that we did on Wednesday. Right, so first we'll go left leg lifts. And this is, we're just going to do the one side. Open hip. We're going to tip right heel goes over right. But we're going to go further and step over first wild thing. So heel lands, hips lift, shoulders down away from the ears, hips lifting. So I'm even pointing the toes of my right foot, staying really kind of strong and wide through that left foot and left heel. Okay, and come back. Left hand to the mat, left leg up. Keep your left knee wide like you're gonna do like a tree pose when you come to plank pose. And then you're even gonna further take it down to the floor. So it's this very strange version of a cobra pose, right? And so hopefully if you've got space for it, see if you can't straighten that left leg. And you'll notice that if you point your toes will kind of sneaky crawl that left foot, a little more out in front of you, okay? Now when you start to bend your elbows, lower your chest, but bend the right knee. Your right arm is gonna reach out in front of you and then sweep it over to grab that left big toe, right? So my right hand is yogi toe lock on the left big toe, right knee is bent, the left arm is gonna reach back for the right foot, right? So I encourage you to take a photo of yourself doing this. This is a pretty flashy, awesome photo, shape, pose, opportunity, and you're gonna feel yourself evolving in this shape, right? So you take the cue and you start to kind of use your intuition to find where your end point is, right? So there's a lot of places you could stop here. But you notice the more you kind of inquire and use your skills, right, as a yogi, to be curious, you start to notice, right? If you have to wiggle that right bent knee sort of a little bit to adjust it, a little bit more towards the glute of that right hip, and a little wider through that left shoulder, right? Open left. It's a funky little sort of twisted shape, hard to describe, but once you're in it, all those feelings are goodness, right? So the first part of the exit is to let go of the right foot so that right leg can straighten, right? Your left hand comes back forward, mostly to the front of the mat, front left corner of the mat, and that's gonna help you come loose on that right hand to bring your right hand back to the mat, right? And we started this from kind of a cobra version here, and we're actually gonna just sweep the left leg back so you end up in your cobra to pick up back to down dog. Kids, yeah. Right, we're gonna do the right side, and I'm going to turn myself around because I don't have room on my side. Okay, right leg lifts, so it's an open hip. Left heel tips left, so you get that space, right? And so let your right hip be initiated and open with the right glutes before you even think of placing that foot on the floor. Right, you get that right foot to land so that you can sweep open and explore where it is you're going in that wild thing, right? Pointing the toes in the left foot, nice and sweet in those strong arms, right? And just really enjoying the form that you take, right? So know that the shape that you take as you transform into the expected version of you is going to be even greater and more beautiful than you thought, right? As you come forward to plank pose, that right knee is coming up towards your right pinky finger. Right, so that's a good little sort of starter point. Go to the top of that left foot, right? Wiggle to kind of soften the elbows so you're not jamming this into the low back. And then you straighten that right leg, right? And this is the most awkward part is kind of getting a comfortable position on that right heel. And of course, on the top of that left thigh and knee. Okie dokie. You're gonna bend the elbows, and as you do, left knee bends. Right, left arm is going to first go out in front of you, so you can kind of roll onto the left ribs to reach the left hand to your right big toe. Okay, then your right arm can pick up, and you're already tucking shoulder down away from the ear to hold the foot. Here's your foot. Hold the heel in, so it's not a really aggressive thigh stretch. It's just enough so that you can feel your shape turn open. So the big reveal here is your wide open heart, okay? And what you also get from this, of course, there are all the things that are obviously felt here. Think about the hamstrings of the straight leg, and there's just a perfect turn in the chest and in the spine, and this is just like this is kind of like you know those vitamins that say they're kind of the megas or the maxes, right? This is like a mega pose for all the sort of potent energy that comes out of being sort of a person that practices deeply, right? So you get sort of the maha experience of it. First, egress, you let go, left foot, right? Right hand comes around, so you bring it to the front right corner of the mat. You press into that so you can bring your left hand under. That's probably the hardest part, right? And then the easier part to get this leg back, right foot, meet back, left foot. Take your legs wide as the mat so your knees are to the sort of edges so you can bend your knees and point the toes. Toes point to touch, and you're going to very gently kind of go into a little bit of this scorpion up dog with the shoulders back, toes forward, and the heart lifting. And you might want to take note of how that has progressed in all the time that you've been practicing at home during this sort of little lockdown experience. So you come out of that as a down dog to really sort of step into your appreciation, because the reflection I've been getting from most students that I've spoken to is that their practices have really flourished, and a lot of that has just happened from being a sort of honoring yogi and feeling like you can really do as much of it as you want and really tap in while being at home. So enjoy this down dog for a moment. Inhale to plank. Exhale, knees to the floor. All right, we're going to shift this around to come to your seat. Ooh, good timing. And just kind of Kind of, absolutely do. Find your seat. That gives you your poison posture, right? So enough to, again, to close your eyes. I sit on a block. The block, if you've missed the cue and the reasoning that has been described in other classes, right? This is to free your hips and balance your spine and allow everything to be in harmony. And harmony means that there's no strain, right? No distraction, no pain. Nothing that is going to impede the progress and your purpose. And because we're in a space that is awkwardly open and shut, the posture right here, and I'm holding my right palm to face up and resting it on my right knee, thigh. And the left hand is palm down, my left leg, knee or thigh. And if you've looked at the deities that are often depicting some kind of message, practice, yoga, why one specifically we look at, they also often have many arms, so they're usually all doing this. But oftentimes when you look at Ganesha, and he's a threshold god, he's one of where we are when we're making the change, and one of like indecision and intuition. So not knowing how to choose, but knowing that there's something in there that already tastes the sweetness of where we will actually end up, where we're going. Palm up is the sweetness. The palm down is the holding. It's the waiting, right? It's enjoying that we can actually be here a little bit longer without feeling rushed. Because we know what we'll be honored with will be sweet and amazing. Let your exhale just settle you into that. Take 3 more breaths together just to allow this all to smooth out. That's 2. One more breath, inhale. Exhale. Allow your hands to come together at your heart. Take a generous bow into yourself for what you have there, for what you've been waiting for what's to come. Namaste. Yay. Thanks for coming, everyone. Stay cute, talk soon. Thanks for being here. I'm around. Message me if you have any insight, questions, curiosities, or requests, right? So if you have a wonder and you need to sort of know, could we spend more time on a shape, on a feeling, on an image, on pain, on confusion, or to just kind of like get deeper and closer into some of the stuff that I know that half-hour classes feel a little fast on, right? So yay for all of this. Thanks for coming. Yay. Happy holidays. Stay cute. Talk soon.